everyone, and welcome back to the TackleShare YouTube channel. I'm Alicia here with the TackleShare program, and today we are going to be starting off the new year 2022 with some ice safety tips, and that's going to be a video today all about ice chisels, or also known as a Spud bar. I have been using this old one for so long, and we just decided to upgrade and get to an actual manufactured Spud bar. You can see here that's used for testing the ice thickness before you walk out, because no ice is safe ice. You just want to make sure that you're in the know and you feel confident before you walk out. You never want to trust somebody else's word. You always make sure that the ice is safe before you step out on the ice. So we're going to get into some tips and suggestions for using a Spud bar. All right, so I'm going to start off by talking about this ice chisel or Spud bar. It has very toothy, aggressive end to it there, and it's quite heavy. I can tell you how it is exactly, I don't know, 15 pounds maybe, and it's very robustly made. So it's something that it is meant to be thrown right into the ice to be able to test to see the strength of the ice there. It's got this neat little handle here as well that you put your hand through and grab back onto it. If you don't, and you're walking through and you may hit somewhere a little bit thin, and there goes your whole chisel right down the hole because you're forcing it. So this handle is basically the reason why we upgraded from our personal one from my homemade version ice Spud bar to one of these manufactured ones. All right, so I'm out here on the back pond of my property. I've already been out once this year, and I know that the ice is very thick already, so that's why I'm venturing out already. But so let's say that you showed up somewhere and you want to get out and go explore a new location to go ice fishing, but you're not confident about the ice conditions. That's why you have one of these really great ice chisels to test as you walk out. As you're going to be walking out onto the ice to check the ice thickness, you're going to want to be always testing the ice in front of you, never directly under where you're supporting your weight, for obvious reasons. If you start plunking the ice right here and it does end up being a little bit softer than you had expected, that's going to give reason for that ice to give way. So if you're going to be probing the ice, you're going to be going far ahead of you. And it's not light like I was just demonstrating there. You're going to want to make sure that you're really giving it. And I'm really out of shape, so this is going to be embarrassing. But I'm going through and hitting, I probably went in 3 inches right there and saw no water poking through. And that's how you're going to be testing the ice to make sure that it's able to support your weight. The more you practice with a Spud bar and understand how hard you're hitting, you're going to understand how thick that ice is, and to get a better wealth of knowledge about what you're doing as you continue. So another consideration is actually the ice thickness and the ice quality. They say that 4 inches of clear ice is ideal for walking and supporting a human's weight. But when it gets a little foggy and murky, that's because there's more air pockets in it, and that really compromises the strength of the ice. So as you are walking out, you're going to make sure that you're checking the water to make sure, or checking the ice and getting a good look. Like, is it gray looking? Is it more white looking? Or is it dark and clear? So it's dark because you're seeing the water below. Generally with one jab, I can get down 2 or 3 inches depending on the ice quality, and that gives me a better understanding of if it can support my weight or not. So sometimes if I'll do one jab or not, I can hit the ice another time just to give myself that confidence. I've clearly chiseled the heck out of this hole here just for demonstration purposes, and that is very clearly ice that I can stand on and proceed further. A good example of ice that is not so good. This is by a little drainage, or like a little creek that comes into the pond at the back of my property. And it is obviously got a nice ice shelf here, and right below it, didn't even have to put it very hard. It goes right through that ice and into the mucky mud. So it's not that detrimental because I was only going to hit mud, but it's this area of current you need to watch out for that. The ice doesn't freeze. Not much security there. So as you begin to get more well-practiced with your Spud bar, you're going to be able to be more confident to know that exactly like how hard you're thrusting into the ice, to know exactly what type of force you're putting on and the ice condition that it will be. So with a little bit of practice, you're going to get a lot more confident in knowing your understanding of the ice and if it's safe or not to walk out on it. Now you also want to consider there's sometimes locations where there's a bit of current. You always want to stay away from that type of ice. It's inconsistent and it's generally very thin and it may look safe on top. So you don't ever want to venture area where you know that there's a bit of current. So let's say by like a water exchange, near any sort of culverts or areas like that. It's never a good idea because that current underneath the water it won't freeze and it will erode away at the ice that has established there over time, and it's just not safe. So you always want to make sure that if you're going to venture out, you're taking a spud bar with you to test the water and sometimes to test the ice. And sometimes even as you progress, even in an open area, sometimes some of the ice can be inconsistent. So the best suggestion is 4 inches of clear ice. That's what we suggest and advise for anglers getting out there. Of course, thinner ice can support the weight of an adult. However, it doesn't give you the wiggle room that you need to feel confident should that ice vary on some days or some locations. So make sure that while you are out there and you can, scrape a bit of the snow off and get the chisel down there and just have a good look and see, is it really gray ice? Is it got lots of air pockets in it? Or is it that thick, clear ice that you can see through, and that is the strongest ice that you can have, and that gives you that much more enjoyment because you're out there without the worry of the ice conditions. So make sure that if you haven't already and you're planning on venturing out this winter, before you even pick up an ice fishing rod, I'd highly suggest getting a spud bar. I think it was $50 I got it at Canadian Tire, and if I haven't already shown you, yes, it's really big, but it can collapse. Anybody trying to be fairly condensed, so it's only that big. That's all you really need to be able to tuck that in the trunk of your car to have with you. It's an essential tool if you're going to be venturing out thinking about ice fishing, because it is easier to access a lot of lakes once it freezes over. So it's a great way to get out, venture out, but you want to have that reassurance and know what you're doing. So make sure you have a spud bar with you if you're heading out, especially during early ice and late ice. So now it's January and I can't believe there's a lot of the lakes up here where I live are pretty close to frozen over, but any more southern parts of the province of Ontario, there's hardly any ice on many of the lakes yet. So as you start thinking and contemplating about going out there, make sure you pick yourself up a spud bar so you can make sure you have the equipment you need before you head out. All right. Make sure if you haven't already done, subscribe to our channel, hit that notification button so you know when we post new content. All right, see you next time. Hopefully we'll be fishing.